All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Track feedback 12:02. I just lost track of time, but Scott, I got your track. So you are in, and we are ready to jam. Let me turn off my alarm. How's everybody doing today? Matt Schultz, monitor off. Scott's here. Ben Hunt, cool. Got all your tracks, Mr. Melvis. The last thing I got to do is get my monitor screen on Spectrumizer, like that. You know what we're doing? We're checking out timestamps. We're checking out tracks. We're hitting the pause button. Yeah, cool. All right, so just to introduce, this background music is a track I started last week at 100 BPM because I like this low bass groove. And this long dub is like playing with different layers in the sounds to kind of morph and ooze around. It's not any kind of arrangement or anything yet. Later on, there's some of this. That kind of a rhythm. And then later on, there's some kind of bell sounds right here. This is a electric piano that morphs with a glint parameter that's like the brightness that brings out this metallic tone. I want to point this out right here. Ding, ding. That sounds like a bell, but it's coming from the keyboard. So at the end of the show, I'm going to show you, I'm going to play an updated version where I actually layered in a bell so I can take that keyboard, morph the glint parameter on the electric keyboard, and then as it gets brighter, I'll fade a bell in underneath it, and the keyboard will sound like it turned into a bell. I think. That's my idea. Matt Schultz, skip my track with the name change. Yeah. We shall see. If I remember that when we get to it. So let's start off with Ben Hunt, Fading Light, back to the beginning. And there we go. EQ flat, stereo. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Hope you're having a nice 420 day. Ian Waters got your jams. Ben, do you have some saturation on the kick drum? I hear a tiny little bit of a buzz on there. Is that in the track, or is this my glitching shit? Oh, I just tapped a perfect 95. Okay, there's saturation on the kick drum. I like that bass line. Nice deep bass. Scott, you got to leave from 12:30 to 1. All right, I can move your track around that. I'll do that now. Then this is sounding really good. Percussion is nicely mixed. The synth layers are coming up in the middle. The bass line is clear and the kick drum is clear. This is a perfect illustration of bass. There's a mid-range layer from like 130 up to 300-400. Then there's one little bump at the bottom. But the main kick drum peak right there at 54 hertz is higher than the low end of the bass line, and you can just basically feel the kick is the bottom, and all the voice of the bass is up above 130 up to that low mid-range. Really nice presentation of the bass line. Matt says, shave a little air off of the synths for a dubby feel. So I would interpret that as high frequency being the air on the synths. In the groove though, the beats are nice. That snare reverb. stereo field of those little like tap tap things. Atmospheric. Oh, it's over there. Oh, it's over here. That was a nice swell. Let's deconstruct that. So we're in an empty spot right here, right? Bassline, beat, some shakers, and this one atmospheric sound going left and right. Listen to how a wash starts to rise up here. This. And then a couple of snare drum taps made a nice buildup where the sound kind of morphed into a riser and went into a next section. That was super good. How's our broadcast level? Push it up a little bit. I can see there's a peak up there at like 10K maybe from that riser. So maybe that, if you wanted to go the Matt Schultz route, maybe you could go to like 10K, Ben, and put a wide EQ with a narrow amount of gain reduction, or possibly a shelf EQ that's like at 8 or 9K and take that down. Overall, this mix sounds solid. Yeah, total vibe. Entering into the ending. That makes sense. I like that slow atmospheric riser a lot. And the vocal swell, super good. All right, I like the high pass filter and delay on the bass, but I would like you to cut that out sooner. And I'll tell you why. So right around here, around 430, at the end of this amount, I would like to hear the bass line filter up here, and then here, at 444, have the bass line go into delay, right? Like that part of the bass line, if that bass line filters up and goes into the delay right here at 445, then when we're mixing into another song in the set, we don't have the bass line, and this part will just be like, listen to everything except the bass line. There's a stereo field. Back this way. And that gets a little more reverby. And that would be a super cool sound to mix into another track. Just that one left to right atmospheric breathy thing with no bass line is how I'm imagining it. Or if you don't like that idea, add another 4 bars of just that panning atmospheric thing after the bass line cuts, because that sound is so cool by itself. It would make a perfect bridge into segue for anything. You could go to a totally different tempo, shift points on a set, add a like vocal acapella sample to play with, and then another track. Yeah, could work faster. Ready to remix at double time at 180, 190. Cool. Good job. That's playable already, so I don't really have that many comments at all for it, except some things to point out. All right, we're going to run through Scott's track because he's got to be on the way out. So EQ flat. Check my levels down. What are you guys talking about? Depends on if you're being chased. Yeah, okay. That's how that works. Okay, let me push up my master level. Oh, you got to change log in Discord. Oh, you know what? Oh, I did quit Discord. Low end sounds good for the bass at the low end of the master. Left to right separation of times. Good notes. That was a good transition. Another tons of stereo effect field going on. Listening in where those beeps are in the mid-range. Pop, 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 pop. Low end is feeling good. That's a chunky sound too. Chunk, chunk. This is, you extended out the drop after the breakdown. Was it okay? Yeah. That was a spacey drop, I gotta say. I like this part a lot too, without the blippy lead in it. It's much deeper now. That one hi-hat is a little too loud. Tick, tick, tick. It's like a stick hi-hat kind of thing compared to the clap. So I'd bring that one hi-hat down a little bit. Now it's better that there's another one that came in so the two of them together could be loud, but that first one was a little too big. Yeah, this is super deep. That chord and the bass line and the vocal are a great combination of elements. The vocal and the chords are fighting a little bit. So, it's good to separate those in time, I think, and not have them totally at the same time. Let's just go back to here. Like, right here you can hear the voice and then the chords later, right? And then there's space in between the chords. So the vocals and the chords need to have a little space of time separation because they're close to the same frequencies when the chords do that pitch thing. Right here. Maybe cut the vocal at that part and let the chords take the theme, and then like bring the vocal back after that cycle. And that's perfect where there's only the vocal there and the chords are faded down. So you gotta be careful with those two sounds, and there's enough space that you can just kind of time share the frequency range. I would bring the vocal up a little bit, honestly, and take the chords down a little bit overall. Now the plucks are coming back in. That's a good place for it. It was nice to have a while without those. And I would even get this pluck sound I would even cut more of the lows out of that and make it like a harpsichord, like a really like tingly high frequency sound, so that when it's in on top of the vocal, the plucks can be really like chingy, like ching ching ching, like on top. Then the vocals like in the upper mids. The chords are like in the mid-range down to the thicker part of the mid-range, and you're actually bandpass filtering each one of those three sounds so they can come together, but they're not. You don't notice that you don't notice that there's a lot cut out of each sound. Does that make sense? So there's gonna be crossover points where they're sharing some frequency ranges. I like this melody line too. It's like yeah, and then drop it for the ending right there. I don't know why we're having a glitchy stream again. It was like perfect for a couple of weeks, and now we got the glitch. Good, the bass and drum section. This is nice and dark too, right here. I could listen to that for a while. Is there a little flanger in the background? That bass reverb is cool. That bass reverb. Okay, so the main comment I had is about in the middle section not to overlap the voice and chords, and we talked about how to EQ those three sounds, the synth chords, the vocal, and the lead bleep pluck things, so they fit together at the end of the track. I want to just return to the beginning and ask the question, where did those bleeps first come in? Because I'm locked on this bass line. This. Okay, that big lead is ARP 2600 with reverb and delay built into the patch, and then played on SoundCloud by me. Okay, the plucks are right from the beginning. Oh, the plucks are before the bass line. Okay. So the bass line's gonna come in around here. I wonder what would happen if you cut the bleeps right when the bass line drops in, just for fun. Let's imagine that. You can. What if this was a super deep drop with no lead plucks for like a little bit, so that you could put them in again later and it would feel even heavier? Maxine, what's up? And then maybe at 47, bring in the plucks where the voice is saying something and they could like go together to like amplify the energy. Just an idea to have an empty drop right at the beginning there, to kind of like, you know, you tease the pluck sound and then drop an empty drop and then make people wait to hear the pluck together with the beat. Now I'm scanning through to just hear for the second time, how often is the voice and the pluck interacting? All right? Because that ARP is a cool sound. You don't want to cut too much of it out or EQ the low end out to lose the vibe of the sound, but and then that awesome build-up. Yeah, I think taking the plucks out for like maybe 8 bars at the beginning, and then one other section to have like little moments where you kind of mute the plucks and have like a 2-bar phrase before the turnaround, and then like a drum fill, a cymbal crash, and the plucks come back in, to kind of just like mute it and then put it back in to break up a little bit of the beginning section. But the ARP is Monarch. But again, so that's compositionally, that's kind of my idea of what I would do. It's not like wrong what you're doing. And the reason I thought about places to mute something is that pluck sound is from the very beginning and it cranks through for a long section without leaving. So if you have that kind of a sound, sometimes you can find really cool spaces in the track by just muting it and then bringing it back again later. So let's hear that again on Saturday. What day is it? So Matt, you changed the name on this one, but nothing else, right? Let's just refresh. Jasper's here. Yeah, in the drop idea, Scott, it's literally like you mute the channel, listen through it once. If you like it, you leave it. If you're not, you just unmute it. All right, Jasper, have a nice dinner. Matt Schultz, the super dub. And you know why I'm playing this, right? It's because we got DJ Waters coming up. The balanced energies. Yeah, Pivclit is in the mastering room, getting mastered. Yeah, this is Matt. This sounds really good. I don't know how much more this track is gonna need. So if there's no updates on this one yet, okay, close that one out and move on. Oh, who's this? Okay, this is the track I wanted to introduce today's show. So everybody get ready.
On a journey through the cosmos, traveling with the speed of light, discovering galaxies and the unknown. Prepare to find things that haven't been seen before.
Whoa, DJ Waters taking you on a trip through the cosmos. Look at how happy that waveform is. What could be better than that? Oh, that. Whoa. Stripped out. All right. I like the theme of that one. Be good to hear that built out. Let's get to an actual track. So we're going to hear some fast stuff for a while. The beginning, version 1, work in progress. Yeah, Matt's waveform was like, ooh. There's a techno track too. The violin is cool. That can be louder. Out of all that hardcore music, I'm like, yeah, violin can be louder. I also feel like the low end could use some more bass, so the bottom end of the kick could be bigger. And there's one peep sound that feels like a dog barking. That's like, ow, ow, ow. That could come down just a little bit. This is nice with the echo. Maybe just a reverb. Very nice. Going up. That riser could be louder. Louder. Yeah, so right here, I think we need a little more bottom. This is me EQing the mid-range. That part I just boosted. I was trying to find that one, which is at 850. 814. That's an interesting bump right there, 156. And there's back to flat on the low end. So the low end needs more like a bigger, a louder layer on the lowest kick drum sound. And the big epic finish. That's cool. That sounded like an end of a movie finish. Like da da da. The end. All right, Scott. See you later. Thanks for popping your track in on time. Oh, blowing in the mic to create the wind effect. Such a daring interlude. Who would ever expect that music like that would turn into this? Yeah, that one sound is too much for me, the peep. It's cool, but like a little bit down, a little more bass in the kick. And there's a little tiny hi-hat in the background. He's trying to get busy back there, but it's just not loud enough, man. I'd bring up that little tiny, like, open hi-hat that's back there. Just to make sure everybody keeps it going. And that violin sounds like a voice. Like on some opera thing. Good, good, good. Keep it going. All right, this is version 2? 200 BPM, 240 BPM remix of a 60 BPM super deep dub track from Paul Robinson. Does the womb womb survive the breakcore percussion?
We have waited very long years for this moment on unity and connection.
I love your vocal clips.
Unity lives stronger together.
The stories are funny.
Unity to fight for disaster.
I wonder if his community involves outer space. Yeah, yeah. Are there update notes on this one? New front end, just using the dub stuff, yeah? We talked a lot about rhythmic grammar on this one last time. Kind of deep level. All the BPMs. Honestly, I don't even remember what we commented on last time.
A community.
There's the bass pulse at the end.
To fight for.
I guess we were asking for the bass pulse to be louder at some point, and then what about in here? If you imagine only the subs pushing like... the ear candy. Going up. I think people are going to love it. And I think that one could be done. What did Max say? I was even moving my head on the beat. Whoa. All right, Ian, cranking through the tracks. Is Morton here? I think he said hi earlier. Little Mindbender remix. Okay, so we are past the hardcore phase of today's show. I think 90% sure of that. That is a thumpy kick drum. Feels like hard compression with a long attack time. So it's like put. Has like that big like pulse on the front. Yeah, lush pad, and that's how you get a bass line and a kick drum working together. Disco. That's amazing. Right here. 2K. Watch. I hate to pause and rewind. I was just looking at the frequency spectrum right in this upper kind of mid area. Just the mid range, not the upper mids. I was noticing there was kind of a ducked out hole there. And I was like, is this really a bass heavy mix with only top? I was kind of wondering about other instruments. Watch how that place has a little downward curve and watch where the vocal appears in the spectrum. It's a nice illustration of what we hear. Right there. That vocal pops up right in that little curve. Oh, I like how the bass line changed right there. Vocal sounds beautiful. There's like layers moving around. There you go, letting loose with the filter. I love the vocal processing. Frequency masking. Spacey, man. I'm coming up a little bit on the high shelf. That's boost. Flat. Tiny high shelf lift. Auto panning everything over 450 hertz. Yeah, the effects could be maybe a little too much for the whole entire time of the vocal. I'm going in mono. And back to stereo. Save the other instrument for the end of the track. I like how the beat is so steady too. It's a breakbeat, but it's like soothing, you know? Atmospheric pad that's just going in the background. Do you guys think the hi-hats need to come up louder? I'm not sure if that's a SoundCloud issue or if it's just me, but I think in general in Mindbender tracks, I always say like, get the hi-hats up a little bit. That is such a good sound. I like the chord progression too. Okay, hi-hats are clear on your side. Yeah, like right here the hi-hats are okay because they're like ticking along, but when the synths open up really bright, the hi-hats, always get pushed a little lower. Well, I'm starting to think that's a stylistic thing too, because your tracks consistently feel like that, and actually the hi-hat is not that important in a crazy ass arpeggiator filter sweep, so priority, you know. Yeah, Maxime, I agree. The whole track is really good. Totally dig the atmosphere, and the voice, and okay, hi-hats too loud, ruin a track. Back to flat. You are right about that. I think with hi-hats, if I had to choose between too loud and not loud enough, I'd probably choose not loud enough. Clap, clap, clap. Funky Acid, definitely. That's a cool track. There's a lot of comments about the vocals. I'm not going to read every single one, but I would dig hearing another version of some. We'll just edit some tweaks. Your tracks always show up like amazing. The low end is like bang, mid-range, a couple little questions, and the top, like the drums are all interesting. So I don't think we've ever had a song structure comment for Mindbender. It's always just been like this little tweak. Tuned, lush, relaxed, deep, and still driving a little bit. Tice Slackhouse, Lovely Mudhouse is this is prep for a release. I think it's not up for release yet. Whoa, that's loud. So I don't think this one needs to be reviewed, but maybe it's a little preview. And for anybody watching, we are preparing a Mix the Texture compilation, or a series of compilations that are going to start getting released in June. So we've been taking some of these tracks that get through the track feedback crew. They get mastered, and we're going to put them into a group of like a house group, a techno group, and start sharing this excellent music with the world. Yeah, this one we're listening to now was not in a feedback channel. It was in the new releases channel, so I'm going to just skip through a little bit. Totally good vibe. 125. Super soft style. This is playable. Let's go through the breakdown. Little detuned. Freaking cool spacey build. I'm thinking 126. Maybe it's 127. I have no comments. This is great. Totally playable in the groove, and I was sucked in at this detuned. Where's Scott? I know Scott would like this. Beat is pumping and everything. So, Tice, if you get a chance to watch the replay, you are 40 minutes in, and that track sounds really good. Looking forward to the mastered version. So we're genre hopping a bit, and I'm going back to the Unstoppable. Sorry about those crackles.
This is a story of exploration.
Been doing a little traveling, have we? Yeah, this has, I'm reading Mindbender's comments. It's got the nice bass pulse of like, cool percussion and effects. Tony Ryan killing it, right? Looking for a summer vibe with this one, yeah. It's nice and deep. It does,
So despair, or if you don't, all of humanity will fall.
Oh, that would suck. Yeah, it sounds like a psytrance track. It's like deep. I like the vocals. I like the storytelling. I'm wondering if the synths or the bass line can get like a filter sweep that opens them up more or changes them in a bit, because as I go through, like, the mood of the whole track is kind of the same. Those little plucks, they're moving left and right. I'm wondering, is there like a climax moment where that sound changes or grows or gets louder or gets brighter or bigger? The groove is like sick, man. But that like, you know, like hype that sound crazy high in a build-up. That's what I would do. I know I'm skipping around all crazy. This is one that has the kind of space for an epic, massive build-up with the snare drum rush, that synth going ta 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 ta, and a sweep like massive build-up, and then drop back into the bass and cut the build-up sound and filter it back down, so you have that deep groove. That's all this track needs. This is cool. There's all these cool layers. At the end, there's this new cymbal thing and a new like bleep, which is cool. So I think the structure works. Basically, I would just go for a big ass build up around 2/3 of the way through, where you just take everything like way over the top, strobe lights and all, you know, that kind of thing, which I believe is within the DJ Waters playbook. And if you don't like my comments, don't do it. I don't know. I try to just say what I think could happen in a track, and then if that's the right thing for the music, do it. Sometimes it's like try it and it's not the right thing, or you try an idea for a sound design and part of it works and part of it is like extra, so you have to like be able to, you know, mute the part that doesn't work and keep the part that does work as an experimental process. Maxime, yeah, playing with the ADSR envelope filter as LFO on the lead to make it evolve. Yep. Like that. All right, Tony, you're up. Forever Now. Leading up to something. .909 ride on the climax, yeah. There's cool synth sounds happening in here. I'm wondering what level of sketch this track is at. It seems like a first mix with just putting the sounds together. A couple little drums in there. Some top loops. Tweaking the synths. The climax. I hear what you're doing with the top loop. Something is not happening with the low end. Like there's no kick drum in here. Even if I turn up the EQ all the way deep. Like there's no kick drum. So I'm not sure if this is like a total sketch before you tune your kick or something. There I can hear a little scratch layer. First mix, yeah. What is your monitoring situation? Are you mixing in headphones or on computer speakers or something? The bass line sounds good, but the kick drum is just not present at all. So the first thing we gotta fix is getting your kick drum up. The rest of the drums sound like they're decently well mixed. There's hi-hat, claps and stuff. The synths are basically in the right space with the layers of synths happening and the bass line synth together. Yeah, so Tony, what you need to do is bring some reference tracks into Ableton, which means get some tracks that you like that are professionally, like you download, the tracks you buy, put them into Ableton and listen to just like if you were DJing, just playing the track as normal as possible with nothing effects or anything on it. And then listen to how your room sounds and try to get your ear calibrated so that when you're listening to like pro house tracks, you can hear the bass and you can feel how big the kick drum is. I'm not sure if your sound system is going to reproduce that or if you're on headphones or whatever, but the point is to mix your track while going back and forth with other tracks and just kind of estimate like how big is their kick drum, how big is my kick drum, and try to make your kick drum by itself feel roughly like the ones in the pro tracks. Do that first and then build up your mix around it, because what we're hearing now is all synths and hi-hats and the kick is just not there at all. So that's going to be the technique to use if you don't have a good studio with acoustics and nice monitors or subwoofers or whatever. The main thing you do is go to reference mixes and do some comparative A/B listening, which means you get to listen to more music. What are you guys talking about? Oh, Kali 8 and monitors. Okay, that should be good. You could have a massive bass buildup in your room, too. If you were sitting in the corner of a small room, the room could sound like woo, 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 which makes you turn down the kick drum in your mix. But then when you export that, people are listening in a different room, and they just don't have the acoustic buildup around their head from the corner going woof, woof, woof. So those are unfortunately, that's like the out-of-the-box production problem where you kind of have to learn how to adjust your mix based on what you hear in your room, so you're making an accurate mix that's going to transfer to all kinds of other rooms, which is a big hassle for people learning to mix because you got to learn how to do acoustics too, or at least solve problems in your acoustics. What are you guys talking about? You guys complaining about... I'm not even going to read the comments. It's version 3, DJ Waters, coming through with some more off-time hi-hat slowed down beats. If I can get the tempo on this, it'll be a miracle. That hi-hat's messing me up. Is that 137? Yeah, Tony, keep it going, man, because you got good ideas and good layers and good sounds. So once we pull that mix together, the tracks are going to be sounding like really complete. All right, I don't care what you do with your hi-hat, DJ Waters. I'm latched on the kick drum. That's the track for me. If you move that out of position, I'm going to freak out. Let me push this up a little bit to blast out the noise in my mind. Into the darkness. I like the whispering. It is. It like comes at your ear. Could use a little more action in the drums. Like the ticky ticky is cool, but some kind of like, there we go. I was about to say some kind of high frequency sound is necessary, and then it just came in. Okay, new percussion layers. This part sounded cool. The atmosphere. Mr. Melvis, a little louder on the vocals. Yeah, that could help. I like the ear candy one. I don't like the claps right there. This stuff is cool. Yeah, we could use some more percussion layers for this tempo and style. like add a lot more different hi-hats and ticks and open rides and stuff, and because those really hype the energy as you go through the song form. This is a cool synth. And right here, just layering in little percussion pieces on the 8 bars. Unfortunately, if you're going to come down into this tempo range, there's some things that go with the style that really do make it a lot easier to program out the beat and listen to the different sections, and then have your ear candy go through on top. I'm not going to say rules, but sort of expected percussions, maybe. Into the darkness. Vocals are cool. I like that hi-hat. I don't love those claps right there. I like the clap, but not at that moment. The synth is cool by itself. And these build-ups are fun. And the little sound that's going ticka 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 ticka, that came in a bit too early after this build-up. Right there, 520. Ticka, 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 ticka. Don't bring that sound in until the kick drum drops, because it's better to have the space. Let's listen to just the echo on the voice and the space. Imagine that sound's not there. So it's like... So keep the ear candy thing in there and the delay going free, and then bring in the ticka 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 when the kick drum drops. That's my opinion, and I think I'm right. I like this synth layer. I like the atmospheric layers and the synth layers on top, and the groove is real steady. That shaker is cool. That could be louder. And then if we get the clap coming in on the backbeat, right? I don't know if we're ever going to get you to do that, but I think it would be cool. I think it would help the track. Or a metal tick or something that just happens on that beat. It's kind of deep and fast at the same time, right? Oh wow, we're at 6.5 minutes already. Who knew? Ear candy's good. Reverbs. Beep. That little synth could be louder. Do, 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 do. The beat gets a bit repetitive when we hear the same tick and kick drum and bass line that we're hearing now. So there's a lot of parts in the song where this is the percussion. And when I'm talking about adding hi-hats or claps or whatever, what I'm talking about is giving some variation to compare this to. So maybe cut this little tick and have other, like that. Oh, you just did it right at the end like there. Into the darkness. Other percussion you can use. Yeah, sure. And keep it within your style so it works for the way you want to play the track. The key I want to emphasize is rhythmic variation, not a specific sound or a specific sample or even a specific instrument, but just something that makes it rhythmically varied so that it alternates, like 8 bars of this and then something else and then the other one comes back. You only need like 2 or 3 sounds if you alternate and then have one part where they're all together, do all the permutations of that, and you'll be good to go. I said permutations. Yes, I did. I said that word. All right, Mr. Melvis, been waiting a long time, till the end of the show. Only an hour. Maxime, yeah, tambourine and shakers could work really good on this. I think that you should take stuff and throw it around the room and record that, like pennies or, objects, and record the sound of them falling. Not breaking your house, but just stuff like found sound is some of the coolest sound. And if you're not into traditional claps and everything, get like, one of the best ones is to take a marble and drop it into a plate full of coins, and it makes this metallic like snack. It's like snick. It's a really cool sound. And it has a little rattle after it too, but it's not a delay because it's like the sound of the coins. That's a sound everybody could make that sound. What am I doing? Talking. Here we go. Walking jazz. Did this get faster? Was it this fast before? We're like nearby Steely Dan on this, man. Piano, guitar, little like shuffle kind of thing, and a cool bass line. I would definitely use Steely Dan for the mix model. Guitar is nice and bright, piano is in the right place. Play a little air drums. Yeah, cymbals are mixed nicely. I would put a compressor on the bass line with a long release time to kind of like drop the level down and keep it there. You can see the bass notes are popping up and some of them are a little boomy, which is fine for the playing technique, but that bass line you could level a bit with the limiter and just get the average level up. Guitars and piano are sounding really good. Jealous of the Melvis drums, all right? Bodhisattva, come and take me by the hand. Oh shit, are we at 120? Did you just drop a cymbal break? Get the fuck out of here. Ding, 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 ding. What was that? What was that? Little ride cymbal break right there. What would that be like if you put a house beat on this? I don't know if you could drop that on a dance floor, but maybe. That's perfect. That open hi-hat drum fill thing, that sounds really realistic. That one little visitor was a bit loud. So you're taking the tone farther into the screaming 80s than Steely Dan did, I think. Which is really cool. It's like... like the composition is like mid-70s, but then the tone is like 80s. This is a freaking jam, man. I don't know the bass line if it's repeated or not, but now it's doing something totally different. Very stuttering. Rewind, I want to hear those bass notes. Listen to the bass line, it's almost like tapping. Right? That's nice. You know what? You're commenting about a missing bass note or whatever. That actually did not draw my attention. I heard that the playing is traveling a bit and playing walking lines and everything. But I didn't notice any of them that were like out. And I like on here, you can hear a little bit of the fret buzz almost. Just on the top frequencies of the bass line by itself, you can hear the metallic kind of fretty part. Maxime says bass is way too loud. Well, yeah, well, I made a comment earlier about leveling the bass line where I feel the bass is inconsistent with the volume. It's a pretty minor detail, but if you do a round of compression on the bass line to get it more consistent, you could have it a little bit lower in the mix and all the notes would come through instead of having some notes really loud and other notes are like kind of a little out. We're gonna hear that cymbal break one more time. Everybody, thank you. That's the kind of breakdown where they introduced the band. Melvis had to EQ the pick sound down on the bass, was too upfront. It sounds like you did good. The bass treatment I think is pretty cool. The dynamics could be a little different. Let's check the is that the fade down ending? This is a jam. This is a total jam, man. Ian Waters, get out of here. Don't forget to leave your cookies out for Snoop Dogg. Cool. I'll give you some claps on that one. Honestly, I think if you adjust the bass line level a little bit and take it a little bit lower, and that one really squealy guitar visitor that I commented on. Is that right here? 302. I know you're doing something, but it sounds like a dinosaur screaming in the background. Like, oh shit, the dinosaurs. I'm not making fun of your tone. It just, that was a little bit loud. You know, when you guys are, you got your dinosaurs attacking, it might not be the best time to be playing guitar. Of course, maybe it could be the best time to play guitar. If you could like annihilate them with music. That's a good skill to have in these modern days. So in the beginning, I was playing a track and it was one of my tracks and it had some sounds or morphing like this. Just to refresh your brain. Amp feedback. Okay, amp feedback is cool. Ah, Scott's back. You just missed a screaming Melvis track, and now we're at the end of the show, actually. So that's version 2 of this kick pitch rhythm. What I was doing with this is I got a tempo and a beat that I liked, and I started adding layers. And I'm at the phase right now where I think I've added as many layers as the track can handle, and all the mixes I'm putting out are just experiments to hear how the layers fit together, meaning there's no composition or anything yet. The beginning and the ending or whatever, they're all going to be different length and time. But I wanted to play with the levels. And I found this drum break. So this would be basically like the end of the song where this drum fill is looping. And you're going to hear some bells that I added and some other synth parts. What I'm going to do is make a loop of this fast drum beat that doesn't have the tom rolls in it, so it's more like a consistent, steady beat you can listen to that doesn't have tom hits every time. Now you're going to hear a conga morph with a resonator and a gate. That's the resonator coming in, which is actually a whole conga drum loop. It's totally resonated. And I'm using the other drum beat to chop the gate on the resonator. So I made conga loop, resonator, gate input coming from the fast drum beat. I like this part. That's a cool layer. So I'm going for that hypnotic groove where your body can be locked in like this, kind of slow. And then the synths are like super spacey, like harmonic pulsing, not like a chord progression. So Maxime, the thing you call the lead flute, is that the high one? Is that the one you don't like? Because I wondered if that one was in too much, or if that should be only like, you know, like less often in the music. And this is like the straight groove. Still have the conga thing with the resonator. I like those bells. There's a pair of them that are split left and right. That one in the center. Loot fleet. Oh, now the conga is back. I didn't even notice. That's good. I like that. Reference mixes are going to be like Kruder and Dorfmeister type vibes. Like driving your car. Scott, bells are nice. Okay, thanks. I was thinking about you with this chord that's got right here. It's like not quite detuned, but it's a little bit like out of the scale. This drum break. This tune fits on 420. Good. And not sure if there's anything else happening in this track, right? Okay, now the conga is going back into the resonator, coming back out. There's the part where the keyboard sounded like a little bit of a bell. Chow, 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 chow. The lead is too repetitive. All right. Maybe another instrument that can maintain, release, or violate. Oh. I think you're right. That lead chord change thing is too repetitive and gotcha. That's a good point. Yeah. And then Steve pressed stop. Cool. So the other question I have, in the original, there is a doubled like kick drum. It's like. Is that all the way through? What do you think of this double kick drum beat? Does that make it better, or is that? Because here it's in, the other mix it was out. Without it, you get more of like a straight drone kind of feel. And this is more like check. So what do you think about the double kick drum thing? Should I keep that in, or should I just scrap that idea? That's one of my things of like sound design, playing with rhythm. I'll add it in there because I can, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. That's the conga before resonator. A, B, then B, C, and A, C from the three chords. So is it like this, like A, B, C, A, A? Is that what you're referring to as A, B, C chords? And I like this part. That like weird synth. That's my favorite part of the groove. And then the bass underneath it's like. If you're down with theory, the chords start in C minor, but the bass line's in A flat. So it gives you like this A flat major seventh kind of feel. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for the feedback, everybody. I'll work on this a little bit, bring it back for Saturday. Thank you so much for being here and giving comments and getting into Discord and trading feedback and everything. Because seriously, the level of music coming out of this group is really good. Scott, original chord A, chord variation to resolve B. Okay. I like that. Little keyboard by itself with a dub echo on there. I so appreciate everybody being part of this crew. And for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what it's all about, this is coming from courses.mixandtexture.com, a bit of an Ableton education program online to help you get the ideas out of your head and into the speakers using Ableton Live for original beats. So I'm rebuilding the member site to make it even more streamlined and smooth with extra fun stuff that you can click in and explore and unlock to get bonuses and freebies by collecting points. And I'll announce more about that like in a little while, but that's what the site looks like. And these are mainly hands-on Ableton guided sessions where you download an Ableton project, open it up, press play, and do activities. To learn by doing it inside live instead of watching on video. So you actually learn stuff inside your DAW, listening to music. You can even close the internet. You don't have a single ad in the whole entire thing, which is a fun one. So watch for news on that. So tomorrow, I put up a new post for Ask Me Anything in the Facebook group that I put up yesterday, and I mentioned it by email. I would like to collect some of the questions that we see in track feedback and that I see in the Facebook comments and just do a show where I answer questions and demonstrate a couple of things. So tomorrow I'm going to show my basic DJ set for how to use Ableton for playing tracks live, and I'll answer what other questions come in. Now, if you ask me, how do you do multi-band compression for mastering? Like, I'm not going to just be able to answer that on the fly in the middle of I could tell you what to do, but to actually do it would take a little more prep. So I'm not going to necessarily promise I'll answer every single thing about everything, but I want to see the comments that people are interested in so I can build some lessons and just, like go in some new tangents and stuff that we don't have time to do during track feedback. Mr. Melvis, nice work from everybody today. Everybody's getting better with the relevant feedback. Yeah, I agree. Y'all are doing great. See you on the internets. What is this track? It sounds like a Psytrance mix set. And of course, happy 420. If you're out there celebrating, be safe. Keep yourself hydrated. Oh my God, sick of the dumb jokes already. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Whoa.